All right, everyone, welcome back. You know how we do things around here. We take one fascinating topic, find an amazing source, and just dive deep.
That's right. Get ready to explore and uncover some truly incredible insights.
Today, we're looking at a close call, a very close call with a venomous snake.
And not just any venomous snake are we talking. This is a Russell's viper.
Yeah, a Russell's viper in Goa, India. And luckily for us, the whole thing was caught on video.
Always a good thing when someone else is handling the snake, right?
Absolutely. The video's from National Geographic India on YouTube, by the way, so we're talking high-quality footage here.
Awesome. So what are we diving into specifically? What's the mission for today's deep dive?
Well, I think we need to understand these snakes better. The Russell's viper, how they behave, how dangerous they are, all that.
Definitely. And since we've got a snake rescue on our hands, we might as well learn a thing or two about how the experts handle these situations.
While keeping everyone safe, of course. Which is, honestly, my biggest concern watching this video. But let's start at the beginning. This homeowner in Goa, they noticed their dogs acting really strange.
Strange how?
Barking a lot. Circling something in the yard like they'd cornered something.
Ah, yeah. Dogs, they've got incredible noses. They'll often pick up on a snake's scent long before we ever could.
It's like a built-in warning system, right?
Exactly. Nature's snake detector. Although I'm always a little curious about what else my dog is smelling that I'm completely missing.
Well, I guess in this case, their noses were right on the money. Because guess what the dogs had found?
I'm gonna guess. A snake.
You got it. A Russell's viper. And the homeowner described it as thick.
Oh, thick is not a word I like to hear when we're talking about venomous snakes.
Right. It just sends shivers down my spine. It just makes it feel so much more real.
Absolutely. But honestly, it's not just their size that makes Russell's vipers so dangerous. I mean, size definitely adds to the intimidation factor,
Well,
right?
for sure.
But it's the venom you really got to watch out for. So they have these long fangs, right? And they're actually folded back in their mouth.
Folded.
Yeah, like tucked away. And then when they strike, those fangs spring forward.
Oh, wow. So they're not just always, out there?
Nope, they're hidden until they need them.
That's terrifying. And how fast are we talking?
They can inject venom in under 5 seconds.
5 seconds? That's barely any time to react.
It's incredibly quick, especially when you consider these snakes can be, pretty big. Imagine a viper the size of your arm moving that fast.
Okay, yeah, no thank you. So what happens if you get bitten by one of these things? What does the venom actually do?
So their venom is hemotoxic.
Hemotoxic.
Yeah.
Remind me what that means again?
It basically means it attacks the bloodstream directly. And what it does is it triggers this, cascade of reactions, starting with blood clotting.
Blood clotting. So it makes your blood clot.
Yeah, but it's not a good thing. It might sound helpful at first, but it's really, really bad because all that clotting, it leads to widespread internal bleeding, which is, incredibly painful and dangerous.
Wow. So it's not just the bite itself, but this whole chain reaction that happens afterwards.
Exactly. You get organ damage, excruciating pain, and all sorts of complications. It's a brutal process. And if you don't get antivenom.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Well, I'm glad to hear that in the video, the homeowner was smart enough to tie their dogs up before things got out of hand.
Oh, absolutely. Keeping pets away from unidentified snakes, it's just crucial. You never know how they'll react. Some dogs, they'll try to play with a snake or even attack it. And that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, you definitely don't want your dog getting a face full of venom.
Yeah.
So back to the video. This snake rescuer shows up, and what I found fascinating was how calm they were.
Oh, yeah. Snake rescuers, they're pros. They know exactly what they're doing.
They used this hook stick to guide the snake toward a bag. It was almost like they were dancing with it.
They have to be incredibly skilled at reading a snake's behavior, anticipating movements, understanding stress levels, and adjusting their approach in real time.
Like a chess match, almost.
Kind of, yeah, but with higher stakes. In this particular rescue, the rescuer actually mentioned that the viper looked like it had eaten recently.
Really? How could they tell?
There was a slight bulge in its body, they said, probably a rat.
So snakes get a food baby too, huh?
Pretty much, and that likely made the snake a bit more sluggish and predictable, which is helpful for the rescuer.
Makes sense. Now, I did notice that the snake kept trying to go back towards the house.
Oh, that's common. Snakes, they're creatures of habit. They like to stick to what they know. So the house, even though it wasn't exactly welcoming, probably represented a familiar hiding place for the snake.
So even snakes get homesick, I guess.
You could say that. But luckily, the rescuer was smarter.
They were. What did they do?
They basically repositioned the snake, kind of coaxing it towards the bag instead, just very gently.
And it worked.
Oh, yeah. With a few well-timed movements, the snake slithered right into the bag.
Just like that.
Well, snakes instinctively seek out enclosed spaces. Think about it. Burrows, crevices, anywhere that feels secure. So the bag probably looked like a pretty good hiding spot to the snake.
So they weren't actually trying to escape. They were looking for a new hideout.
Exactly. And once the snake was in, the rescuer secured the bag, and that was that. Capture complete.
Man, that's incredible. I was on the edge of my seat watching it all unfold.
I can imagine it's a real testament to the rescuer's skill.
It really is. Okay, so let's recap.
Where do we even begin?
Well, first off, I think we all learned that Russell's vipers are not to be messed with. They're incredibly dangerous.
No kidding. Their venom is no joke.
And as much as we love our furry friends, we got to keep them away from snakes.
You said it. A curious sniff could be the difference between a fun day out and a trip to the emergency vet.
Which is not the kind of deep dive we're looking for. But this whole episode has got me thinking about something. We often fear creatures like snakes. But what if understanding them better, their behavior, how they think, what if that's the key to coexisting with them peacefully?
It's an interesting thought. Learning to appreciate them, even.
Right, like instead of just being afraid, we could be informed.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, after all. And maybe with a little more knowledge, we can all learn to share this planet a bit more harmoniously, even with creatures that, might make us a little uncomfortable.
That's a great thought to leave us with. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Always a pleasure. Until next time.
See ya.